Chapter 2. Remember to keep your questions nearby as we read so that you can find the answers. Jonas watched as his father poured a fresh cup of coffee. He waited. "You know," his father finally said, "every December was exciting to me when I was young. And it has been for you and Lily, too, I'm sure. Each December brings such changes." Jonas nodded. He could remember the Decembers back to when he had become, well, probably a 4. The earlier ones were lost to him, but he observed them each year, and he remembered Lily's earliest Decembers. He remembered when his family received Lily, the day she was named, the day she had become a 1. The ceremony for the 1s was always noisy and fun. Each December, all the new children born in the previous year turned 1. One at a time, there were always 50 in each year's group, if none had been released. They had been brought to the stage by the nurturers who had cared for them since birth. Some were already walking, wobbly on their unsteady legs. Others were no more than a few days old, wrapped in blankets, held by their nurturers. "I enjoy the naming," Jonas said. His mother agreed, smiling. "The year we got Lily, we knew, of course, that we'd receive our female, because we'd made our application and been approved. But I'd been wondering and wondering what her name would be." "So how is this different from your family?" "Well, we can see that the nurturers are caring for the new children, not the mothers and fathers. It looks like the new children don't even live in a home until they're 1. Also, the new children are named by someone else, not by their family. And in order to get your second child, you have to make an application. So we can see there's lots of rules to keep everyone happy and from having any bad memories." "I could have sneaked a look at the last list prior to the ceremony," Father confided. "The committee always makes the list in advance, and it's right there in the office at the nurturing center. As a matter of fact," he went on, "I feel a little guilty about this, but I did go in this afternoon and look to see if this year's naming list had been made yet. It was right there in the office, and I looked up number 36. That's the little guy I've been concerned about, because it occurred to me that it might enhance his nurturing if I could call him by a name. Just privately, of course, when no one else is around." So here we can see that until the naming ceremony, when children are 1, the new children, or babies, don't even have a name yet. "Did you find it?" Jonas asked. He was fascinated. It didn't seem a terribly important rule, but the fact that his father had broken a rule at all awed him. He glanced at his mother, the one responsible for adherence to the rules, and was relieved that she was smiling. His father nodded. "His name, if he makes it to the naming without being released, of course, is to be Gabriel. So I whispered that to him when I feed him every 4 hours, and during exercise, and playtime if no one can hear me." "I call him Gabe, actually," he said, and grinned. Gabe. Jonas tried it out. A good name, he decided. Though Jonas had only become a 5 the year they acquired Lily and learned her name, he remembered the excitement, the conversations at home, wondering about her, how she would look, who would she be, how she would fit into their established family unit. He remembered climbing the steps to the stage with his parents, his father by his side that year instead of with the nurturers, since it was the year that he would be given a new child of his own. He remembered his mother taking the new child, his sister, into her arms while the document was read to the assembled family units. New child 23, the namer had read. Lily. He remembered his father's look of delight, and that his father had whispered, "She's one of my favorites. I was hoping for her to be the one." The crowd had clapped, and Jonas had grinned. He liked his sister's name. Lily, barely awake, had waved her small fist. Then they had stepped down to make room for the next family unit. What do you think of this ceremony? Of receiving children who are already born and maybe 1 year old? How is it different from your family? Okay, we'll pause here and continue in the next video.